Welcome, Ryan. Welcome to everyone from the Rec Innovation Lab, from SCSU, and from Miramar College. So we are just so grateful today to have with us a really wonderful speaker, Ryan Zervakos from LinkedIn, and we're going to get started here in just a moment more. Before we get going, I want to make sure that there are no questions from anybody and that we're all good to go. Good. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. All right, then. Without further ado, Stephen, I'm sure you have you let everybody know about our distinguished guest?
Not yet. I'll do that right now.
I'll turn it over to you and let you take it away from there.
Welcome, everybody. Today, we're welcoming Ryan Zervakos from LinkedIn. He is the Senior Relations Manager at LinkedIn and works with higher education to provide information on how college students and higher education students and everybody else within higher education can learn more about how to utilize LinkedIn effectively. And I'll pass it off to him. Say more. Thank you, Ryan, for coming.
Thanks, Stephen. Thank you. All right, Ryan, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. I appreciate the invite and appreciate the warm introduction. So real quick background about me. I've been working with LinkedIn now for a while, and my role is in a sales capacity. I sell a product called LinkedIn Learning to colleges and universities. So this is not like my day-to-day. I do this as an extension of my role because I'm extremely passionate about spreading the word of LinkedIn to anybody who's willing to listen. I really feel strongly that LinkedIn is the best place for anyone to go to further their career, or if you're an entrepreneur, it just is an additional tool for you to build your brand and to generate business. So what I want to do today is really just talk for the next 4 hours about LinkedIn. And oh, wait a minute, it's not 4 hours, right?
4 hours, 4 hours, yeah.
4 hours straight. 4 hours straight, no breaks. If anybody leaves, we're going to keep track of you. No, I'm kidding.
It sounds actually, that sounds like a good thing. Let's do it. Let's do it. I've got nothing to do the next 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. No, for the next 20 or 30 minutes, I'll be presenting and just chatting about LinkedIn. I used to do a slide deck, and actually, do you all have that feature set up in here? Let me see here.
We do. If you'd like, you can share your screen. You're welcome to. You're welcome to do so. And I know when we had. So I've talked with Ryan beforehand, and it's so nice to talk to somebody who really knows the ins and outs of LinkedIn and how you can make the most of it. And Ryan knows that we here at the Rec and at Miramar and SDSU, we use LinkedIn a lot. So we appreciate you're talking to, you're preaching to the choir here, but you're talking to people who really do appreciate all that you can do on the platform. And we're just excited to hear from you. So if you'd like, would you like us to open the slide deck, or you're welcome to share your slides if you'd like?
No, what I'm going to do is, instead of doing the slide deck, I'll actually just go into LinkedIn. What I did is I dropped the slide deck in the chat, so anybody can download it and use it for future reference. Basically, it's got a lot of great information. It was actually done by a student a few years ago, and he just really goes through in detail some of the how. Today, what I want to talk about is why you should be on LinkedIn, and I want to show you all examples of best practices on LinkedIn. I am happy to answer any questions you may have. The more questions, the better. I definitely want this to be interactive. So before I jump into LinkedIn and show you what I want to talk about, I want to just make sure we can have level set. So we're going to have 3 takeaways from today. The takeaways are going to revolve around your profile. Really thinking about how you want to tell your story. It is not a resume. It is a place for you to tell your story and to build your brand. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you examples of that. Second thing we're going to talk about is networking. Networking is super, super key today. It's always been important. Networking has always been important, but today more than ever, networking is going to help you get where you want to go, whether you're an entrepreneur or in just going into business. Anything that you do, networking is going to help you. Quite frankly, if you're an entrepreneur, networking is like in my opinion, it's like, you got to do it. So the third thing we're going to talk about is how you actually build your brand on LinkedIn by being a thought leader, by posting content. So we're going to cover those three things for the next 15, 20 minutes. And then again, answer any questions that you may have to move the needle. And I've got a lot of content I can cover, and usually, I can fill the void for sure. A couple of things to point out that is, why I feel so strongly about why you should be on LinkedIn. First off is that we are the largest professional social media platform in the world, right? There's no other LinkedIn. It's just probably not going to happen, right? I mean, at this point, do you think there's going to be another Facebook or another Twitter or another Insta or another TikTok? It pretty much so isn't. And that's because once you get to a certain point with your membership, it's very, very difficult for another social media platform to come in and offset that, right? LinkedIn now has 760 million members worldwide, 760 million members. We're growing at a rate of 3 new members per second, which is bananas. We have 15 million jobs posted on LinkedIn. We've got over 50 million company pages on LinkedIn. We've got 115,000 schools represented on LinkedIn. It's just an amazing platform that allows anybody to get economic opportunity. And that's really what our vision is. Our vision at LinkedIn is to help create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce for free. $0. It doesn't cost you anything. You do not need to do premium. Most people think that's where we get most of our revenue. You'd probably be shocked to find out that only 3% of our 760 million members pay us monthly premium. And again, that's not chump change. That's a lot of revenue, but that's not where our largest revenue source is. Our largest revenue source is from our talent module. It's from recruiters paying LinkedIn to find talent. So when you think about the economic engine that is LinkedIn, it's this ecosystem that allows you as a small business person or somebody who is wanting to get into business. It allows you opportunity to network and to be part of this collaborative tool that is meant for one thing, and that is to try to help you make money. It's kind of crazy. When you think about the other social media platforms out there like TikTok and Facebook and Insta, those social media platforms were designed to suck your time away and to entertain. That's not what LinkedIn is about. It's not about entertainment. It's about economic opportunity. So hopefully with that information, and by the time we're done today, you'll make LinkedIn a daily destination. That's what we want from you all, is it to be a daily destination. Now, I'm not talking about a daily destination like Insta or TikTok, right? Let's just be real. You're not going to be on it for hours a day. Hopefully you're not on others for hours a day, but the bottom line is it's easy to get sucked into a vortex with those others. On LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn just for 10 to 15 minutes a day, you will be doing more than 99% of people on LinkedIn, 99%. And all that economic opportunity is going to start driving really quickly if you actually engage in the product or engage in the platform. So not a heavy lift, just a few minutes a day. It's going to be a huge difference. So let's jump into LinkedIn right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I do have my chat window up, so just in case you're chatting, I can definitely answer the questions, or if you want to jump in, interject. No
Ryan,
problem.
and I'll also let you know if I notice any questions come up that you don't notice.
Cool. So first thing I want to cover is let's talk about the profile. Let's talk about what you can do with your profile. So I want to show you a couple of really stellar profiles. And first one I want to show you is Bridget. So Bridget is a current student at Cal State Long Beach. And what I want to share with you here is this idea that LinkedIn is a destination for you, but also for people trying to find out who you are professionally. So not just what your work experience is, right? The point of LinkedIn is to give somebody an idea when they get to your landing page, what is your story? And the more that you articulate that story, the more compelling it is, and the more that people are going to gravitate towards it, as opposed to doing what a lot of people do on LinkedIn, which is treat it more like a resume repository and a cover letter. So I want to try and get away from that thought process of LinkedIn and make it more of a place where you can just be authentic and not try to say the right words, just say your words. So let's take a look at what Bridget's done here. She's got a really nice profile picture. You got to have a profile picture. She's got a nice background photo here. Now, one of the things I want to show you is that we've got these new background photos so that you really don't have any excuse to not have a background photo. And here's how easy it is to get it. You just click on your profile, go to your profile, click on this pencil up here, and you'll notice I have this background photo. Go ahead and click on change photo. What most people don't realize is that for the first time about 5-6 months ago, we added background photos that anybody can use. This is, again, is not part of premium. Anybody can use these. So if you want to just put a background photo here, you're more than welcome. If you want to show that you're an ally to the Black Lives Matter movement or the LGBTQ movement, you can use these as well. And you can notice that I've used one, and I kind of rotate through these just because I really love showing that I'm an ally and showing that LinkedIn is committed to allyship and diversity and DIBS, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. So that being said, background photo is super important. The next thing that's important is going to be this area right here. Now, where this often gets missed is that most people regurgitate where they're going to school and where they're working, or just where they're working. And that is not a headline. This should be a headline. It should be aspirational if you're not where you want to be right now. Or if you're an entrepreneur, it should be talking about your business or about your vision, right? Really something that's a little bit more compelling. So you'll notice Bridget starts here with guiding students into the next step of their careers. Like, I love that. That's just much more compelling than I'm going to Cal State Long Beach and I want to, be in marketing or whatever. The next thing I want to cover is this about section. And the about section is where you're really going to be able to share your story. This is going to be a complete sea change from what most people think. Most people think of this as a place for you to do like a resume, a cover letter, where you're using all these keywords like you're independent and you're hardworking and dedicated and passionate about X, Y, or Z. And that's okay. Like, that's not the end of the world, but let's just be honest that that's what everybody says. Everybody says I'm hardworking. Everybody says, I got a positive attitude. What you need to do, in my opinion, is show that through a story. Show that through your experience, your life experience. I was doing one of these workshops the other day, and there was an 18-year-old that was on, and he's like, well, I don't have a lot of work experience. I'm like, you got a lot of life experience, man. You've lived a lot. If you're in high school and you just got out of high school and you did extracurricular activities, you did sports, you played music, or joined clubs, all of these things are shaping who you are. If you're working your way through college, that shapes who you are, right? If you're a first-gen student, that shapes who you are. Underrepresented shapes who you are. So this is where you have an opportunity to tell your story, because your story is so much more compelling. And it also gives an example, right? When you sit down to an interview, they're going to want to know examples of your work, right? They're going to know examples of that. If you're doing a business and you're running a business and people are going to be coming to you, they're going to want to show examples of why they should be working with you and giving you their money. So the bottom line is that with this about section, you have an opportunity to share your story. And that's really, really important. Let's take a look at Bridget's. Bridget says, complacency is a contagious struggle that we all have to fight. I love that tagline. That's a Jack Nicklaus saying. I'm a golfer, so I love that. But she goes further than that, where she talks about being complacent in her life and overcoming that complacency, right? I think we all can relate to that, right? We all can relate to being, struggling to do what we know we need to do. And being able to show that in a story and overcome that. And then, talking about that through the entire about section. And at the end, she talks about her notable accomplishments. Like, this is just a very nice, succinct about section that lets you know about her. The other thing you'll notice, yes.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt, but I did have a question. So it's back to that narrative part of writing the story about yourself. I love that. I love sharing the story. I do get often questions from people about how best to write a narrative. Should they have like a good story has a struggle in there that you overcome? Should that be part of the narrative, or is there any advice that you have on that?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it depends on what you feel comfortable with, right? At the end of the day. I am not a good writer, and so what I did with mine is I ran it by people that I think are good writers. My wife, my
Yes.
daughter, my brother's a very good writer. I think there was a course I took the last year by Goldie Chan. Goldie Chan is one of our thought leaders, and she talks about building your brand. And I think that's really what you want to think about. Is like, what is your brand? And how do you articulate that? If your brand is overcoming and struggle and overcoming adversity is part of your brand, then I think you should put that in there. If you don't feel like it's really part of your brand, then you don't necessarily need to. I mean, it really depends on, I think, how you want to be perceived. But here's my thing. I don't think there's any wrong answer. That's the bottom line, right? I think you got to be true to yourself. And so, like, I have I think, let me show you. Let me see if I can find her here. Let me see, Sarah.
I love this. While you're going over this with me, I'm getting all sorts of notifications of people connecting
Right.
with me on LinkedIn.
I know, crazy, huh?
That ever-
So real quickly, so this is
Yes.
Sarah. Sarah is one of my mentees. She's just an amazing young lady, graduated from Santa Cruz a couple years ago. Check out her about section. She's like, around my neck on a thin red cord, a tiny jade lock and key was placed by my biological parents in the busy streets of Anhui, China. The necklace symbolizes the world would unlock for me, but through my new explorations experience, I want to help unlock it for others. So she talked about that, like she was put up for adoption. Like, that is a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And talk about adversity, right? She has the most positive attitude, one of the most positive attitudes of anybody I know. And let me just tell you that, this story is it's such a compelling story. And look at where she landed. I mean, for first job out of college, working for Google, right? Well, why is that? It's because you can hire anybody that has a master's degree or an advanced degree. You can hire, like Google can hire Harvard people out the wazoo.
Right.
What they can't hire people who have stories, like, not, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly, yeah.
this is where Sarah understands and is comfortable with sharing her story. So again, I don't judge you, and I don't think you need to do what's comfortable with you. But at the end of the day, if you're going to share something like this, you're going to get an overwhelmingly positive response from people.
Yep.
And the other thing here too is you might get somebody that isn't a positive response. That's okay. You don't want to work for those people or with those people, right? So that's why I love being on the authentic side, being more authentic.
Agreed.
Hope that answers your question.
That really does. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love the authenticity, and yeah, it's great. That's
well, I think also, if we're talking about entrepreneurs, right? And there are probably a lot of entrepreneurs listening right now, right? What is the most awesome thing about working for LinkedIn is this idea that you can have integrity and still be profitable at the same time, right? That you can do what's right and make money. And I think that's the thing that I would do if I'm doing a business, especially if something I'm passionate about and have some purpose behind. Even if it's something where it's like, this is just a means to an end, you still have the ability to spread positivity and spread that message with your organization. So I think that's just a really good example of how you can do that. And again, you can do that on your company pages. So real quickly, since I'm sure there are some people that aren't familiar with this, if you go under the work tab right here, at the very bottom, you have this ability to create a company page. This is free on LinkedIn, and you can create a company page. More than likely, you're going to be a small business. And what it allows you to do is put all of your business information in there, links to your website, and for you to create that about section of your business. What is your business about? And market your business and your personal page. Both of them should be running in tandem, and you should be posting content for both. But if we the deal that LinkedIn wants to do is they want to get away from this idea that everybody has to be, and I hate doing this, forgive me for doing air quotes, but quote unquote professional, right? This idea that you have to say the right words and be the right way and look a certain way. That is exactly. That
Yeah.
is not inclusive. That is
No.
completely exclusive.
Agreed.
If you don't have the right hairstyle, if you don't have the right, clothes on, LinkedIn is trying to get away from that. And we realize that the more that we make our platform attainable and more that make our platform with people that look and talk like everybody else, the more we're going to have the right type of engagement on our platform.
I
So
love
that's what
that.
we're talking about. Yeah.
In entrepreneurship, we always say people don't buy products, people buy stories, and this is wonderful. I love this. People being able to get their voice out there, authentically them, is wonderful, and I'm glad that LinkedIn is embracing that. And I hope that everyone here takes your advice and does that.
Yeah, tell me about it. It looks like we have a question in the chat about sharing between your personal and your team page. When you said team page, I'm not really familiar with the team page. Are you talking about a company
He's talking about
page?
his business page.
Your business page. So when you talk about sharing things in between, there really is no way to share things in between other than to do two posts, basically, is what you've got to do, because they are two separate pages. But if you think of it like, and I'll just go now to my homepage right here. If you think of it like social media, right? What you can do is you can link to your business in your personal page. You can link to your business page. Your personal page is probably going to have more followers at first than your business page, right? So what I would do is I would try to, always be letting people know to, hey, follow my business page, and be posting content. You can, in my opinion, you can post the same thing on your personal page and your business page, because you might have two different audiences there and it's going to double the effort. I also think you should follow we're a little bit ahead. We're kind of jumping ahead to the actual, marketing aspect of it or the posting aspect of it. But the bottom line is that you can actually tag people in the posts, and you can market yourself. And I saw this thing about social media marketing is the 411 marketing methodology. Have you all heard of 411 marketing methodology? Real quickly, the 411 marketing methodology on social media is that you should do, of every 6 posts that you do, if you're a business owner, 4 posts should be giving back to the community. You should not be talking about your business, and you should not be talking about buying product from me. Because what'll happen is that every time you're posting, people are like, oh, there it is again. Ryan's posting, he wants me to buy something. That's all he wants. So 4 of your posts should be just giving back to the community. I read this article. Here's an industry topic, sharing somebody else's content. 1 post should be about your business. 1 post should be about buying the product that you've got. 411, 6 posts, that will make a huge impact for you. So that's what I would do. And then again, doing multiple posts, especially if you're really doing the same type of content, it shouldn't be that heavy a lift to post on your company page and then post on your personal page. I heard somebody, so tagging yourself, does that count when I share somebody else's content? Yes. So are you thinking of one of the 4? So here's the deal. Like, in my opinion, when I'm talking about content, I'm not talking about commenting. So let's say Jay's post here. This is a really cool post by Jay, who's my first degree connection. If I like or comment, that to me is not necessarily part of the 411 marketing methodology. Now, if I shared this content, then I can actually write some information about why I think this is important and what I read from this. That to me is different. That to me is a big difference, because I'm actually, I'm helping Jay, right? I'm helping him spread his message, and B, I'm just talking a lot more about my perception of this. So I think that this is not a heavy lift, because once you start building your network, there's just a lot of great content on LinkedIn and you can easily share it. So I'll give you a good example of what I'm talking about. So let me go to my profile real quickly, and I'll show you in my activity section. So anytime you go in here, you can see your activity, and I'll show you a post that I did here. And this is a reshare. So what I did is Madison posted, this is an amazing, amazing article, by the way. I think every one of you should read it. In fact, I'll just drop it in the chat. Slowly but surely, this thing's going to pull up. Maybe I'm on the wrong network here. So this is a student who I don't even know, obviously she's in my network, but I don't know her personally. That's the beauty of connecting and growing your network. And she wrote this awesome article on why you should be posting on LinkedIn. I loved it. So what I did is I don't reinvent the wheel. I just shared her post. So this is why I think that what I want to drop the bar for you all. So you're not thinking, well, damn, Ryan's telling me I have to do 6 posts and all of them have to be original content. No, it doesn't have to be original content. You can share other people's content. You can share other people's articles. You can go over here and let's say you read an interesting article for the LA Times, right? And again, industry articles are super important. So you can come over here to the industry article and just start here at the top, start a post. What? I hit the wrong button. Sorry, Jay. You can go over here to start a post, and then you can drop in. Well, I did that. You can actually drop in this article, and then you can tag people. What I would do is I would delete this index because you don't need it. You've got this now, this thumbnail, and you can tag people. If I want to tag, Ali, I want to tag, Jermaine, whoever I want to do. You guys know how to use tags and also use hashtags, right? Use it today, whatever. So this type of content, posting content, is going to really make a huge impact on you. All right, got another question here. So when you repost, do you consider that tagging your company in the content of the article as one of the 4? So I'm reposting an article, tagging the author, putting content in, tagging my own company. Yeah, exactly. I consider that one of the 4. Exactly. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I love the I love this methodology because it encourages all of the entrepreneurs to give before they ask and to lift each other up. And it's that inclusive sort of we're in this together, attitude that I think will just serve to help everyone.
I couldn't agree more. Like, giving before you ask is a big deal. And I know that might be difficult for a new entrepreneur, and you're like, I need to close business. I need to get business done. But if you can drive and work through that, the beginning of this, it's really, I think, going to just increase the brand that you have and the perception of those that come to your page. So it's just one of those things. And again, I'm in sales, right? So for me, if I were like, I need to sell LinkedIn Learning, and if I were hitting up every time I posted to be like, LinkedIn Learning, and if you know anybody who needs LinkedIn Learning, please let me know, people would not want to see my content. After a while, they'd be like, Ryan is totally self-serving. We don't want to hear that anymore. So my thing is that I sprinkle that in from time to time, and people know, they'll go to my profile. This is the beauty of social media, right? I mean, this is the beauty of posting content. When you post content, people naturally, if they don't know who you are, they'll click on your profile. And if you've tagged your company, they might click on your company profile. And it's like just a very subconscious way of getting your information out to people and letting them do with it what they want to do with it.
I love it.
This is a really good question, Raj. Very good question. LinkedIn is different than other social media platforms when it comes to the amount of content that you should be posting. You're probably going to be tricked to find out this, but 1 post a day is the best for our algorithm. If you post more than once a day, it actually is a negative impact on your algorithm. The reason why this is because LinkedIn doesn't want to be like Insta or TikTok, where you get these influencers that post 5, 10, 15 times a day and just clog up your feed. We don't want to do that. We don't want companies that don't understand this marketing methodology and they're just posting and posting and posting and posting because they want people to see their posts. So ironically enough, and in my opinion, it's awesome, because when I talk about the 411 methodology, that's 1 week, 6 posts a week, man, once a day, take Sunday off, right? Or whatever day off you want to take off, right? So it's not that heavy of a bar. It's not that heavy a lift. And because you're doing it the right way, the algorithms are going to hit. Now, I will tell you that kind of like Insta, I know that like an Insta, If you save a photo, that's like the best for the influencer. How our algorithm works is that videos are the top. Videos are the top. We're going to keep that in the algorithm. They're going to be highest on the algorithm. The second thing that's going to be high on the algorithm is this right here, which are documents. This is a newer feature where you can actually upload a document and you can share a document. So let's say it's like best practices for XYZ, and you want to put a document and have people take it down. Or let's say it's a marketing material that you've got. It's a flyer. You want people to download your flyer.
Okay.
Put that on there. So that is about the same level as a video, where we try to keep that in the feed as high as possible, as long as possible. The next thing, go ahead.
Sorry, I love these tips. I love these hints about the algorithm. So thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Writing an article is going to be next. That's a really heavy bar. Most people don't. That's the reason it's higher, is because most people don't use that feature. But writing an article is super important. Photos next. If you just write copy, you know what I'm saying? If you're just writing copy and you don't add a picture, that's at the lowest. That's at the bottom of the algorithm. So this is an example of Goldie Chan. Like Goldie Chan here, instead of just writing about this, thing she has, which is this video is about, what do you call it? Not a statement. It's basically a saying, her favorite saying. Instead of just writing that out, she talks about this in a story format and shares it via video. And it's a huge thing.
I have a question, Ryan, about the video. So you're saying that, video is ranked highest in your algorithm. Are you talking about, so a lot of what we do is, we'll record little videos and then we'll upload them to YouTube, and then we will then share the link, but that's not the same as what you're talking about, is it? You actually have to use your video. Do you have to use your video? Yes. Button there? So you have to.
It's different. It's different. Okay. So if you did, for example, if you linked to YouTube in here, it's different than clicking on the video and uploading your video. Two different things.
So we have to, we can record and we can edit our video beforehand, but we do need to upload it through the video function, not by sharing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that it's an extra step, but it helps. It just helps with the algorithm. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if it puts us to the top, but what we would do.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, the one thing I will tell you is that it's only a certain bandwidth, and it's like 10 minutes tops, I think, is the longest video we'll upload, but that's too much time anyway. Yeah. Too much time. I think, your sweet spot's about 2 to 4 minutes, I think. Yeah, exactly. So the other thing that's brand new, by the way, is this event feature. It used to be on the left-hand side of the page. Now it's right here. I don't know if you know this, but this is free, where you can actually drive people to certain events, and you can post that on LinkedIn. So we keep that higher up because it's a newer feature as well. So here you can, do your own picture and your own background photo. You can change the event name. You can actually link to registration broadcast link. So if you want to link to Eventbrite, you can do that. So you can actually drive traffic to your event through LinkedIn now, which is kind of cool. And you can, do that super easily. So you can see, I mean, we kind of stepped over, we went from profile to posting, but that's fine. I mean, posting is super, super important. Now, just to let you know, we keep track of obviously everything. So of the 760 million members, roughly 40% of the members don't ever do anything. They don't really do anything. So, I mean, even though we have that many members, like most platforms, only top 60% use it. You'd be probably surprised to know that only 0.5%, 99.5% of people on LinkedIn don't post content once a week. So if you're posting that even just once a week, you're in the top 0.5% of LinkedIners. It's not a big thing. It's not a heavy bar. Again, because there's so many people that don't do it, automatically you're going to start seeing your content take hit and get traction. So really just I can't hammer this enough, that posting content is going to differentiate you from 99% of the people out there right away. So yeah, we had a question about this as recording being shared. It will be, Steve. Thanks. Cool. Real quickly, what I wanted to share with you is about growing your network, right? So how do you grow your network? And how do you do that efficiently? And to me, it's like, just start with the lowest hanging fruit, and that is usually your alumni. So we're at Miramar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it San Diego Miramar, or what is it?
San Diego Miramar College, San Diego Miramar
San
College.
Diego Miramar College. So don't go to the company page, because that doesn't give you what you need. What you need is, you actually need the school page. So if you're doing San Diego Miramar College,
Mhm.
I'll just have to actually spell out the whole thing here. I'm going to hit enter. And what that does is it pulls up everything with these words in it. And then
Mhm.
you just go over here to the school page.
Mhm.
And then you click on the school page right here.
Mhm.
And what this does is it pulls up, there are almost 12,500 alumni on LinkedIn where you can grow your network. And you just click on this alumni tab right here. And we show you a lot of stuff about them. We show you where they live, where they work. We show you what they do for a living and what they studied. So if you wanted to grow your network, it would be super easy to say, okay, I'm really interested in growing my network, and let's just go over here and see people that are in business development or education. Or if you wanted to just search by CEO, and you just want people that are CEOs, you can actually do that as well. So if you're looking to actually grow your network, and let's say with people that work at certain areas, so let's say I'm interested in seeing if anybody's working for Netflix. Let's just see if anybody's working for Netflix. Looks like we've got one person that's working for Netflix. It's Kelly, and you can go ahead and click on message. Oops, interesting. You'd want to actually click on her name and see if you can connect. So here you'd want to connect and add a note. Boom. So what you want to do here is you always want to try to grow your network. And this is the easiest way to do it. You want to drop in the note that you're a current student, or you're part of the Recognition Lab, whatever it is, right? You want to show why you're reaching out, who are you, and why you're reaching out. You always want to drop a note into your connection request. And if that message comes up, a lot of times that isn't that way. So if we come down here, you see how it just goes directly to connect. So most of the times it'll go directly to connect, and you can just connect with somebody. You don't have to go through that. So that's one way to do it. You can also follow other company pages. If you want to be, entrepreneur, let's do entrepreneur in groups, right? So we have all of these groups that you can join. There's Entrepreneur Magazine and Entrepreneur Network. So let's take a look at this Entrepreneur and Small Business Forum, for example. So what you can do is you can click on this, and you can request to join. There are 56,000 members here. The beauty of this is that they're going to vet you a little bit. They're going to want to make sure that why are you joining, but they're really inclusive groups. So you shouldn't have a problem if you want to be a small business owner to join this group. Once you join this group, let me show you what it looks like. This is a group I'm already a part of. You can see that now you can see anything that's posted in the student group feed, in the group feed, you have access to that. So now you're getting like-minded individuals posting content. You can post content into that feed, right? So you can be part of your 411 methodologies. You can start posting content directly into here. The best thing about this is that all of these members, once you're part of this group, you do not have to be a first-degree connection in order to message them. You can be a second or third degree connection. So real quickly, let me just tell you what degrees of connection, degrees of separation are, degrees of connection. If I'm connected to, let's say, Ray, he and I are first degree connection. If Ray is connected to Tanya, Ray and Tanya are first degree, but Tanya and I are second degree, right? Two people. If Tanya is connected to Angela, then Tanya and Angela are first degree, but me and Angela, we're third degree. There's a third degree connection. It goes Angela, Tanya, Ray, me. And the beauty about LinkedIn is that we try to eliminate the ability for people just to blast you and DM you when they don't know you, because we don't want our platform to be used that way. So you need to be a first degree connection in order to DM somebody, but not if you're in the group. If you're in a group, you're a like-minded individual. Now you can message that person. So it's another way to really grow your network. I have a question in the chat. It looks like, Ray, you're saying, I work on growing my network every week. Usually I check for specific companies. How do I actually look for specific job types? So, it depends on where you want to go. Any job type, you can search here in general if you wanted to search here in general. And let's say you wanted to be in, I don't know, sales. So if you wanted to search sales, what you can do here is search sales in people. And then what this does is it's going to pull up people that are basically sales representatives, and you can try and connect with them. Or industries, you can do industries as well. My thing is that I would narrow it down, and I would try to connect with people that there's a reason why you connect with them. They're working at the company that you're interested in working in, or they're working in the industry, or they have gone to the same school that you've gone to. I mean, you've got 12,000 people you can connect with just at San Diego Miramar, right? If you end up going to a 4-year or going to another college or university, you can connect with them. So I would kind of think outside of the box with that and try to grow your network slowly but surely. Don't blast 1 million people, because LinkedIn doesn't like that. 4 or 5 people a day is all you need to start doing that. Eileen, should we be accepting all connections that come in? Like if you've never met them, have no connections, and they're different industries? That's a really good question, Eileen. Here's my opinion. The answer is yes, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. I do exclude people that are like, I get sometimes hit up by, people in foreign countries that I'm like, I have no idea how this person's going to help me or how I'm going to help them within my network. But when we think of networking back in the day, it was like you'd shake somebody's hand, you'd grab their business card, and you try to keep in touch with them. That's not really how it works these days. What works now is that it's sheer numbers, right? So what I mean by that is that we know for a fact that if you apply for a job on LinkedIn and you have a first-degree connection, you're 2 times as likely to get a job there, twice as likely to get a job. You don't have to know that person, they just have to be in your network. So that's just giving you opportunity that way. The other thing is this: your first degree connections are usually not the people that are going to be able to actually help you directly impact you. It's usually your weaker ties. And what I mean by that is that if you have 500 people in your network, you just don't know them very well, but they're all in your network, and you post content, and let's say 40 of them see that content and they like it or they comment on it, well, that goes on their feed. And let's say 40 of each of them like it. You see what I'm saying? It just like spreads out. So the message that you put out there, the content you've put out there, even though you and I are not in the same industry, right? If I'm connected to you and you post content and I like it or I comment or I share it, it goes on my feed. Now, everybody in my feed has a chance to see it and has a chance to reach out to you and grow your network or even offer you a job or buy your product. So you shouldn't discriminate. Let me give you a good example, right? I work at LinkedIn. I work in technology. I work for a social media company. I'm connected to my wife who works in finance. I'm also connected to my brother who works in marketing, right? You may be wanting to get into marketing and not into sales. But if you post content and I see it, the other day, a student posted content on her feed. I commented on it, and then my brother commented on it and offered her an opportunity to do an internship with his company. That's how it works. So the bottom line is, I think you should connect with just about everybody. And here's the other reason I think it's okay to do that on LinkedIn. We eliminate 99% of fake profiles, which means that if somebody says something or does something inappropriate, A, please flag it, let us know, because we will take care of that. B, if you block them, they can't just create another profile and harass you. It's virtually impossible. So you have a lot more control of that and a lot more control of your privacy. So I just wanted to throw that out there because obviously the social media is different for everybody, but I do feel it's a better platform, and we're more we want your trust, and we want to make sure we end harassment and bullying. Cool. Anybody else want to jump in on that before I jump into some other questions? Because we got some great questions in here. Awesome. It looks like, Raj, should you even accept connections from people who are just trying to sell you something? That I would say no. That I'd say no. You don't need to do that. Right. Go ahead.
So Ryan, I just picked up because on top of what Raj is saying, I found I've used LinkedIn for about almost 8-10 years now, and in my previous profession, and the challenge is that I found that I have stalkers. So when I say stalker, they're not stalking me, but what they're trying to do is get information about me. And what ends up happening is these are people I don't know. Somehow I've gotten connected with them, and then they ask me some inappropriate question, like
Hmm.
"What are you doing?" or "How are you doing?" or whatever else. And then I look them up on the profile, and their profile is completely messed up. I
Hmm.
flag them when I can, and I tell my group, because then I can see who else they're linked in with. And I tell
Hmm.
those people because those were all attorneys, and
Hmm.
that's the last thing we need. When I flag them, what do you guys do with this? Because these are really not good people. So uh, it's just a challenge that sometimes you inadvertently click on one of these. I try to look them up right away when I get them,
Hmm.
but it doesn't always work.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's experience is going to be different. So what we do, again, we're trying to eliminate the nefarious actors on our platform. There's always going to be somebody who's trying to be nefarious, and that's the biggest issue we have. But because we do have protocols in place that do eliminate 99% of those fake profiles, uh, when you do raise it up, and if we see it's there, we do pull them off. We pull them down. We pull up misinformation as well. So we are much more proactive than Facebook will ever be, or Twitter will ever be.
That's great. So
Um,
you pull them off across the board then for everybody.
correct,
Yeah, okay.
correct. Yeah. So we definitely need to know that. Quite frankly, it also depends on your position and your title. If you have a title and you have a position of power, you're going to get more. Your experience with LinkedIn is going to be different than mine. I'm an individual contributor, so I don't have a lot of people doing that. I got a friend of mine who owns a business, and he's like, "Man, I just get hit up with salespeople all the time on LinkedIn," and it's kind of, it's unfortunate. We don't want LinkedIn to be just like that for you all, but at the end of the day, I mean, sales is what drives the world. Without sales, right, the economy would be not where it is. So you kind of got to take the good with the bad. We definitely do not want to have you feeling like you're being stalked and that people are trying to take advantage of the system. So I just would definitely raise that up. So I appreciate you letting me know. Any other questions? Because we've covered the three things I wanted to cover. We got about 6 or 7 minutes left. So I didn't know if anybody else had any questions before we, sign off.
So I don't see any more questions in the chat, but
I have one more weird one.
Okay,
go ahead,
it,
Ray.
man.
I was going to say,
Somebody's trying to sell me a hash for virtual reality. One of the hash virtual reality channels.
Hashtags? Okay.
Hashtag.
And it's weird because he said, "Oh, I'm getting rid of this. I've got like 60,000 member or 600. I don't know. It's a lot." And then I said, "Okay, I'll take a look at it." And then suddenly it's like, "Oh, he wants money for it."
Yeah.
So so that's common, or?
Yeah, I mean, again, our system isn't perfect. It is kind of a bummer when people are trying to, they'll connect with you and then immediately ask you. That happens to me too, financial advisors. It's like, hey, connect and then ask me. But we got to take the good with the bad, unfortunately.
Right. I mean,
Sure.
they're always going to have sales.
I understand, but I just wanted to know if that was under the terms of service. So should I flag that guy, or is it just that that's what it is?
Yeah, you can flag the guy. I mean,
Okay.
if he said he's got 60,000 connections, that's not true because we're capped at 30,000. So I mean, probably not a person that should be on the platform. So I would definitely flag it. If you think something inappropriate, please do.
Okay,
please do.
So I have a question. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Ray. But I was just going to say, I actually have a question about the difference between hashtags and in-text tagging when you're writing posts. I get this question a lot in the classes and from the entrepreneurs. So is there a difference? Is one preferred? I always tell people to do both, but I'm not sure why I'm telling them to do that. I'm not sure what the actual.
You mean hashtags and tagging? Yeah, there's a difference. I think you definitely do need to do both. Our recommendation is only 3 to 5 hashtags. One hashtag should be your hashtag, so that if somebody finds it and wants to follow your hashtag, it's yours. If you have a business, you definitely should create a business hashtag as well, and always be hashtagging it. And that's just so people can find your content that are not connected with you.
Right.
Tagging people is a little bit different, because what tagging people does is it goes into their notifications and it lets somebody know. So you'll notice here that this post would mention me. That's why it goes in here. So the tagging actually goes directly to a specific person. And if you want your post to get seen by more people, there's an influencer, even if that influencer is not in your network. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, you want to tag Bill Gates. You can tag Bill Gates. And if Bill Gates sees it and posts and says something, or Goldie Chan, she's an influencer, and she sees it, then guess what? She might have 10,000 people in her network. So tagging people is super important. And I think it will help just drive the adoption, not adoption, but drive the awareness of your post. And you got to do both. Yeah, if you can do both, for sure. Got a quick question in here from Greg. Sharing corporate flow charts, unless it's from an employer you work for, as long as you know what they do. For example, SQL query, GUI interface screen, show that you know a software design. That's a good question, Greg. I mean, yeah, if you want to show that you know something, then yeah, as long as you're not just sharing company secrets, I think you're okay. You're good to go, right? That's the deal.
And is that different? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to say, so is sharing documents different than, I know that you had the media in the, when you were creating your profiles to show that you had, experience or something like this. So is it different actually sharing that document and uploading the document that's, preferable?
Yeah, you're saying, so
so
actually uploading the document is a little bit different than sharing a link to the document. And I think again, it's just because then we can see how many people are, we can kind of get an idea if people are downloading it. And I just think it's an additional feature for us. That's it. But at the end of the day, I think that any content that you're putting out there that you think is appropriate, you should be putting out there.
Now, somebody, I think Stephen had put in a post about somebody sending him a message here.
I think they accidentally sent it to me instead of the chat, but they said, how can an introvert use LinkedIn effectively, whereas they can't really do that in real life?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me show you, Allison. So Allison is a mentee of mine, and she actually is super introverted. And what she did is push herself a little bit out of her comfort zone. All right. And to tell her story. And then she give back to the community, because she is, she's an introvert. So some of the things that she did with her posts were talking about being an introvert. And she said that that post resonated with so many people, because so many people feel the same way. So I don't think you have to if you're not comfortable with posting all the time, then don't, but connecting and just reaching out and putting yourself out there, unfortunately, you kind of have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit to take advantage of that. I think there's a difference between, putting yourself out there on video. Even I don't feel super comfortable with that, or taking a picture of yourself if you don't want to. It's not the end of the world, but I think just kind of getting your feet wet and understanding that you kind of got to meet people in order to have the most opportunity. And so whatever way you can do that to make yourself feel the most comfortable is how I would do it. Yeah.
I always say that that extroversion is one of those things that you can fake, and nobody knows if you're a true extrovert or an introvert who's faking as an extrovert, and you get the same benefits, whether it's real or fake. Just like confidence, right? You can fake confidence. It's good enough.
Yeah. Real quick, Andrea asked a question. You do not need to have LinkedIn Premium. Everything I showed you today is free. Everything I showed you today is free. So you can easily connect with anybody. You just can't connect with 100 people a day. That's again, we don't want that. So I would say 5 people a day is what you want to do. Yeah.
Now, yeah, I saw a question from James about the content of the video, and I often have this question myself when we're coming up with original content. What would you like to see in those videos? What do you think works best?
It really depends. You know, James, you're a yoga instructor. Gee, yeah, post that if you want people. That's not like weird, right?
No.
This is the whole point. Are you going to have people that are be like, why are you posting yoga? Yeah, but you would need to. So when you post a yoga video, I would do something that's giving back, like, you know, 1 minute of meditation or whatever, right?
To help you
Drawing people-
de-stress in your
Exactly.
busy day.
Exactly. So I'm all for that, man. I had a student like, well, I want to show that I want to do a snowboarding video. And I'm like, well, why would you want to do that? And he's like, well, I'm in film editing and I want to show people my editing. Yes. Don't just put the video up there without any context.
Right.
Your video with context makes perfect sense. And we would welcome that. And you'd be surprised how many people would gravitate towards that. So I love that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And, you know, Andrea, just to reiterate, everything we're talking about here is complimentary. So posting the videos and connecting with people and starting your company page, all of that is free for sure. Cool. Well, we're a little bit past the top of the hour. I got a couple of extra minutes, but just want to make sure that we answer any questions and I've dropped my name in the chat. So y'all are more than welcome to connect with me as well and hit me up with questions.
Thank you so much, Ryan. This has been so helpful. I know for me, been so helpful. I appreciate you sticking around answering these questions. Did anybody else have anything that they needed to, burning questions they need to ask? You can also connect with me. I'd be happy to answer if I can. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Really
No
great
problem.
workshop.
Take care, Ryan.
Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. Great questions. You all are super engaged. So really, really appreciate it, everyone. Like I said, feel free to connect with me. Hit me up, DM me if you've got questions down the road, okay?
Yeah, it's nice knowing somebody from the inside on LinkedIn. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome,
All
everybody.
right, great.
Take care.
Take care.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good one. Bye, everyone. Bye. Take care.